Quilty is brought to you by APQS, handcrafted quilting machines. Aurifil Italian thread, perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Baby Lock, for the love of sewing. Clothworks, inspiring creativity with art on fabric. Hovels Sewing, when you need to cut it close, choose Hovels. B&B, our fabrics, your lifestyle. Quiltology, the urban quilt space.
Quilty! I learned so much on Quilty today that I've taken over the intro for the show. Join me and Mary as we talk about the difference between large and small scale prints.
Hi, welcome to the show. I hope everybody is having a fabulous week out there. And welcome to Adrian, our guest for today's episode. Hi, Adrian.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
I love your top. It's
Thank
really
you.
Pretty. Pink. It's very
I love it too.
It's very summery. It's new.
I got it on Michigan Avenue.
Oh, yeah, because she's visiting from St. Louis, and it's awesome, and welcome to Chicago. It's
Thanks.
really hot outside, but you're dressed for it.
It was hot.
You're dressed for it. It's awesome. So you're a graphic designer, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. And we are going to talk a little bit about color and scale, stuff that you as a graphic designer know a little bit about.
Deal with it every day.
Exactly. And you're a totally beginner quilter, right?
Correct.
Right. So she's going to ask questions. Hopefully she might have a question or two that you are wondering about at home as well. So here's the deal. So let's take a look at this fabric that we have laid out on the cutting mat here. We've got two different kinds of fabric, and we've talked a little bit about scale on Quilty before, scale of print on your cotton broadcloth that you use in your quilting. We're going to talk about it again and in a little different way and put it to the test, put it in action. So can you know which is the large scale and the small scale, right? So which is which?
That would be the small, and that would be large print.
Exactly. And you had a great definition for what scale is.
Right.
What did you say?
Just like the amount of the pattern in, like, say, a square inch, or just any kind of square dimension, the amount of pattern in that area.
Totally. So it's true. Like, how much of the pattern is in a square inch or in any part of this fabric, and that's how you can sort of tell whether you have a large or a small scale print. And in fact, I have made a little tool to help us today. I call it the magic window. This is basically a little viewfinder that I made, and I cut it out of cardboard and I painted it yellow and got really crafty with it. But basically what this tool does, which seems simple but it can be very helpful, is it gives you a square dimension so that you can see kind of as you move this all over your piece of fabric, if it stays the same within your window, if it always looks the same and basically makes you kind of dizzy, then you have a small scale print. If we take this little magic window, do you want to move it all over that larger scale? So there we have like a butterfly. Stop there for a second. We have butterfly. We have mauve. A little bit of blue.
Pop of blue.
Exactly. Move it down a little bit. Oh, look at that.
Another flower.
Exactly. We have like yellow suddenly. And over to the right, tons of white. So it's like, oh, this is a large scale print, because as you move your viewfinder around, you see that like this is almost different fabric. Yeah.
You can almost like blur your eyes a little bit, and if it's like all different colors and stuff each time you move it, I think you have a large print.
Totally, exactly. So that might be fine. If you're cutting big pieces of the fabric, that's okay. But if you're cutting small pieces, it really gets to be a problem, because one piece of the fabric that you cut might be all white, and another piece might be mauve, or it might be blue or something, and it gets weird. So we're going to show that in a block, which we have not done on the show yet. Here is a churn dash block, and it's done in that small scale print, and it really pops, doesn't it?
Right. You can see the edges of the whole pattern right here. This looks like a shape.
Exactly. It's totally it's bold, the lines are clean. Well, this is the same block cut out of that large scale print. And there's really
messy.
It's messy, right? Like we have white here, it's all white. This is almost totally pink. And there's really not a right and a wrong necessarily in quilt making, because it's like, it's art, you know, like you kind of...
That's the whole point of it.
Right, exactly. You can do what you like. But this is sort of as close to like wrong as you can get, because you lose the integrity of the block when you have this crazy color combination. And this isn't as high of a contrast. You know about contrast, right?
Right.
From designing. I mean, this is basically all white. So if you get far enough back, you lose it.
And this just looks so much nicer. Like,
it does.
There is no right and wrong, but you'd want to make it look as nice as you can.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're going for a crazy sloppy look,
right?
Which you could be.
You could be, and crazy's good, but like sloppy, like not as good, you know. So totally got it. So here's another example This, by the way, this brown is like straight out of like the, I think, late 70s.
Right, yeah, it's very retro.
It was a vintage.
I don't know. The orange too.
Yeah, the orange and like the little apples. But this really pops. Like this is a contrast. They're both small prints. You're really seeing the pattern. And this one too works. Anytime you use a solid, you're in pretty good shape.
Right. I love those colors together.
I do too. And grab those pieces of fabric and put them out here. And the last thing we'll do is just kind of show that both of these are pretty small prints. You know, we can see that. This one is slightly larger of a print, but again, with our window, when we move it around, even though it's a larger graphic design, it's still totally uniform.
Right, yeah, because there's not, it's just the same thing repeated over and over. There's no, it's just the line.
Exactly.
Continuous line.
Exactly. So I hope you learned a little bit of something today, Adrienne.
I think I did.
And you were so great. And welcome to Chicago.
Thanks. I've had a great time.
Good, good. And you guys visit us online, and you can see all kinds of things on our website, heyquilty.com, on Facebook, and they can follow us at heyquilty. That's our handle. So follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter at heyquilty.
Awesome. Thanks.
Quilty is brought to you by APQS, handcrafted quilting machines. Aurifil Italian thread, perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Baby Lock, for the love of sewing. Clothworks, inspiring creativity with art on fabric. Hovels Sewing, when you need to cut it close, choose Hovels. B&B, our fabrics, your lifestyle. Quiltology, the urban quilt space.